How are you today? This video is worth watching because a winter garden is not empty. From above, frost becomes pattern, structure becomes sculpture, and silence becomes cinema. You'll learn practical design ideas that make any landscape feel intentional in winter. Strong lines, evergreen massing, and frost-friendly textures. If this kind of aerial garden storytelling inspires you, please support the Enjoyable Garden channel right now. Subscribe, hit like, and share it with a friend who loves gardening. Chapter 1, Aerial Winter Garden Storytelling Blueprint. First, imagine the drone view as your design truth serum. Messy edges show instantly while clear structure reads like art. Today's goal is a garden that looks breathtaking even when flowers sleep. Think in big shapes, not tiny decorations, evergreen islands, pale pathways, and one quiet focal point. In winter, the best color is contrast. Dark foliage against white frost, matte stone against sparkling ice, shadow against mist. We're designing a landscape you can read from the sky. Chapter 2, Winter Landscape Masterplan Lines. Now we draw with pathways and bed edges because winter reveals every line like ink on white paper. A great frost garden has one dominant axis and a few supporting diagonals, enough structure to guide the eye, not enough to feel strict. If your space is small, scale the geometry down but keep the proportions bold. This is where bird's eye thinking wins. A path curve that feels cute at ground level can look accidental from above. Choose clarity. Chapter 3, Evergreen Structure for Frost Contrast. Winter gardens live or die by structure, and evergreens are your architecture when branches go bare. From a drone angle, dense evergreens act like dark ink, letting frost become the highlight. Mix forms, low mounds, upright cones, and broad-hedged plains. Keep the palette disciplined, 2 or 3 evergreen species max, so the aerial view feels calm. Then let frost add complexity for free, like nature's own fine embroidery stitched overnight. Chapter 4, Hoarfrost Texture Garden Aesthetics. Let's talk about hoarfrost, those feathery ice crystals that turn simple plants into glittering chandeliers. The design trick is to plant for surfaces, fine grasses, twiggy shrubs, and tight evergreen needles that hold frost beautifully. From a bird's eye view, hoarfrost creates a soft, shimmering gradient, almost like brushed velvet. You can't force it, but you can invite it by choosing the right textures and by keeping sightlines open so the camera can read the sparkle. Chapter 5, Frost Garden Path Rhythm Design. Paths are not just for walking, they're the sentences of your aerial story. In winter, the path surface becomes a luminous ribbon, especially when frost outlines the edges. Choose one main loop or one main line, then add a single pause space, like a small clearing where the camera can hover and breathe. Keep intersections minimal so the layout doesn't look like a map. The best winter path design feels inevitable, as if the garden has always wanted to be read that way from above. Chapter 6, Frozen Water Feature Landscape Calm. Water in winter becomes a mirror of time, still, pale, and quietly dramatic. A shallow pond or rill is perfect because when it freezes, it turns into a matte glass plane that reads beautifully from above. Keep the edges simple, stone or gravel, so the ice looks intentional, not accidental. In drone footage, frozen water acts like a second sky, reflecting the winter brightness and amplifying your composition. One water feature is enough. Too many compete with the frost textures. Chapter 7, Winter Container Garden Frost Styling. Containers are winter punctuation marks, small, deliberate accents that the drone can spot instantly. Keep them few and bold, 2 matching planters flanking a path or 1 oversized vessel near the focal clearing. Fill them with structure, not color, evergreen bough silhouettes, twiggy stems, and frost-catching grasses. Avoid over-decorating. Winter already gives you glitter. The goal is to make containers look like part of the master plan, not seasonal leftovers, so the aerial view stays clean and editorial. Chapter 8, Natural Light Cinematic Winter Mood. Forget artificial sparkle. Winter's best lighting is natural, low, and directional. Early morning gives you long shadows that carve geometry into the ground. Late afternoon gives you a golden edge on frost that looks unreal in 4K. Design your garden like a sundial. Open areas where light can land, evergreen backdrops where shadow can deepen, and 1 reflective surface. Ice or pale gravel to lift the frame. In aerial footage, mood comes from contrast and restraint, not decoration. Chapter 9, Winter Color Palette Minimalist Landscape. Winter color is subtle, and that's the point. Build your palette around 5 tones: snow white, frost silver, stone gray, bark brown, and evergreen green. Then choose one accent only, maybe a cluster of red twigs or a single warm-toned stone. Use sparingly so it feels intentional from above. In aerial view, too many colors look like noise. A limited palette looks like luxury. Let your camera glide slowly, and the garden will feel like a quiet film still. Chapter 10, Minimalist Hardscape Stone and Gravel. Hardscape is the skeleton that winter exposes. Choose 2 materials only, 1 stone and 1 gravel, both in cool neutral tones. Clean edges are everything: straight borders, crisp curves, and consistent joints, because frost will outline every mistake like a highlighter. Use stones sparingly as anchors: 1 boulder, 1 low wall, 1 simple platform. In bird's eye view, restraint reads as confidence, and confidence is what makes a winter landscape feel breathtaking. Chapter 11, Birch Grove Winter Landscape Pattern. If you want instant winter poetry from above, plant a small grove of pale-barked trees. Their trunks become vertical brushstrokes, especially against dark evergreens and frosted ground. Keep the grove tight and geometric, an oval or rectangle, so it reads as a deliberate room. Underplant with low grasses that catch frost and move gently in wind, adding life without clutter. In aerial view, this grove becomes your signature scene. Quiet, graphic, unforgettable. Chapter 12, Snow Drift Composition and Negative Space. Snow is your free design material, but only if the garden gives it room to settle beautifully. Wide gravel fields and open lawn panels create negative space where drifts can draw soft curves. Avoid tight corners packed with objects. They trap snow and red messy from above. In aerial footage, negative space is luxury. It makes every evergreen mass and frosted bed feel curated. Let the camera float slowly over the emptiness, then reveal structure like a quiet plot twist. Chapter 13, Winter Garden Maintenance Invisible Design. The most beautiful winter gardens hide the work. Maintenance, roots, storage corners, and practical edges should be invisible from the drone view. Keep tools out of sight, simplify borders, and choose plants that stand upright without constant cleanup. Winter interest is not about doing more, it's about designing so you need to do less. When the garden stays tidy naturally, your aerial footage stays cinematic naturally. This chapter is your reminder. Elegance is a system, not a moment. Chapter 14, Winter to Spring Transition Landscape Planning. A breathtaking winter landscape should also be a smart spring setup. Design beds so bulbs and early perennials can rise through the same structure that looks good in frost. Keep evergreen anchors permanent, then let seasonal layers change quietly around them. From above, this planning creates continuity. The garden stays recognizable as the seasons shift, which means your channel can revisit the same space and still feel fresh. Think of it as a series, not a single shoot. Chapter 15, Final Drone Tour Winter Garden Reveal. Now the camera rises for the full reveal. Geometry, evergreen structure, frost texture, and frozen water, each element in its place. Notice how the garden reads instantly, yet still feels rich when you linger. This is the secret of frost garden aesthetics. Simplicity in layout, complexity in surface. If you've been waiting for a winter landscape idea that looks cinematic without looking crowded, this is it. Take these principles, adapt them to your space, and let winter become your most elegant season. Thank you for joining this Frost Garden Aesthetics drone tour. If you found these winter landscape ideas useful, please comment your favorite scene, evergreen structure, hoar frost texture, frozen water, or the masterplan lines. Don't forget to like, share this video with a fellow garden lover, and subscribe to support more cinematic aerial garden design guides. Your support helps this channel keep creating calm, visually rich videos that teach real design principles, so your garden can look breathtaking even in the coldest season. See you in the next flight.